spoke to Baron after the incident.
All right, everybody, this is only getting worse and worse. Only a few days after sex traffickers Andrew and Tristan Tate were arrested in Miami, hauled away in handcuffs and shackles, and according to Polymarket, appeared in U.S. federal court this morning wearing prison uniforms, shackled at the waist and ankles as UK extradition proceedings begin. Only a few days later, we have uncovered more evidence that the Tate brothers have been helped by the Trump administration, that Donald Trump, Barron Trump, people like Elon Musk, Don Jr., a whole cabal in the Trump family and circle had been pushing Romania to relax their charges against the Tate brothers. That has allowed the Tate brothers to continue operating, continue working in Florida and Miami until they were arrested after Britain's Crown Prosecution Service authorized dozens of new criminal charges, 7 charges of rape, over 20 charges of alleged sex trafficking, another 19.
Even though they've been pushing for them, if you look at all these charges, this is something that any normal person is going to distance themselves. I know that they are saying that Trump was pushing for them, even Elon Musk, but I bet that after they hear about all these charges, they're going to step back and just let everything play out.
Charges or so of child pornography and insane porn. It's all absolutely absurd. And as you can expect, the worst people on the internet are running to their defense. Nick Fuentes said, "It would be a national humiliation for the United States to allow the UK to extradite Andrew and Tristan Tate, 2 American citizens, over trumped-up Me Too charges. The same country that persecutes white people for speech while importing rapist migrants." What is this weird rhetoric? We literally have videos of Andrew and Tristan Tate admitting how they used to lure women to Romania, then they would take away those women's passports, and then they would use that as an opportunity to push them into sex work and give them no other choice.
And also, Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate, these are not American citizens. These are people who actually, they were a citizen of the UK, and they ran away because they were running away from the charges. Then they decided that they want to go to Romania, where apparently the laws are better than everyone else, where they thought that they were going to get away with it. So these are people who have been in the spotlight for a long time, and these charges have been running towards them. And since the age of the internet, and since they decided that they want to get famous, and Andrew Tate was called Top G, he actually started to expose themselves. So they released so many videos exposing themselves. So it's just only logical that now the people from the UK, as soon as they get a chance to be able to arrest you, they're gonna use that chance effectively, irrespective of which country you are in, especially if this is a country that actually allows the UK to come and collect you and put you in their jail cell.
That follows with human trafficking charges. We have multiple instances of the brothers absolutely bragging about this and admitting this. I want to show you in just one moment, because Candace Owens, somebody who used to be on the right and now is kind of just floating out there, has been weirdly, oddly charitable towards Andrew Tate, let's say, over the past few years. But there's also footage of Candace Owens saying that she knows he is a pimp. Candace Owens and her boyfriend met Andrew Tate back in 2018, 2019, and they knew he was a pimp. Then, a few years later, to follow her grift, she began to defend Andrew Tate after he did all of these heinous things and bragged about them on camera. Let's break all of this down in a steady-handed manner. This video will likely get demonetized or deranked because we are going to be playing some really raw evidence against Andrew Tate. We need to get this out there. We need to expose them. If you want to help us punch back and beat these weird manosphere right-wing fools, make sure you drop a like. Make sure you're subscribed to the Adam Mothler feed. We live and breathe on independent media, pushing for a better future. And let's just start with the reporting surrounding the Trump administration. Former National Anti-Trafficking Coordinator, Madalena Terza, says it has come to her attention unofficial and official channels within the Trump administration have been pressuring the Romanian government to lift the travel restrictions on self-confessed sex traffickers Andrew and Tristan Tate. This was a few months back. It seems like the pressure from Britain's Crown Prosecution Service has gotten so intense that they had to end up charging the brothers and extraditing the brothers. But right here it says the self-confessed sex traffickers. They literally have bragged to it. Over the course of a few days, the following things have transpired. Romanian Foreign Minister Emil Hărăzeanu told G4 Media that Trump's special envoy, Richard Grenell, had requested that the Tate's restrictions be lifted. Richard Grinnell requested this reportedly in a shadowy hallway meeting where he just very quickly made the request. Grinnell was quoted by the Financial Times as saying, quote, "I support the Tate brothers, as evident by my publicly available tweets," when asked about the interaction. Romanian Prime Minister made a statement saying that no demands were made by the Trump admin, but it seems as if the demands were made by Grinnell to the foreign minister. We have
What is this? Was some type of backstabbing story where they decided that they want Romania to actually relax to whatever restrictions that were made so that these guys can actually go to the USA and actually get arrested. Hey man, especially if you know that you're a criminal, like you should never go around trusting people. I know that it's good to have a circle of very powerful people, but at the same time, you also need to watch the people who you're actually keeping close, which clearly these boys actually made a mistake in that. They should have just stayed in Dubai, man, because now they are actually going to pay for their crimes. Whatever that they've been doing over the many, many years, abusing, whatever allegations and the things that they always come on camera saying that they actually did and never actually get punished for that, they're actually going to get the punishment.
to the contrary. This is a mess. A clarification from the Trump admin is needed, but we will never get it because it gets even worse. Online influencer Andrew Tate, a self-described misogynist who has millions of male young followers, was facing allegations of sex trafficking women in 3 countries when he and his brother left their home in Romania to visit the United States. Quote, "The Tates will be free. Trump is the president. The good old days are back. Man, you're only as good as the allies you keep, and birds of a feather flock together in this instance." The Trump admin is defending Tate, and Tate is defending the Trump admin because they're both sick, cynical human beings. I've talked on this channel and multiple other videos about how young men's minds, people that I know from high school, their minds have been distorted by Andrew Tate, poisoned by Andrew Tate, and his weird misogynistic view on the world. And it's not just like a weird misogynistic view.
Yeah, I wouldn't really go and actually go to that degree and say that they are poisoned. I mean, I was also young at one time, but at the same time, we have to think that, yeah, I know that they're young, but everybody has a brain, and these are people who also have parents and other people that surround them. We sometimes we need to give credit to young people that they are also smart enough to actually make decisions for themselves. That just as us growing up, we're able to make decisions for ourselves and decide in terms of what we want to do in life, what we think is right, the things that we believe, the things that we like. I don't like this whole thing that we always think that young people are dumb. They can just easily get influenced by someone. Yes, there are influencers that people follow and even young people can easily be influenced, but at the same time it's not as clear picture as how people actually make it seem, because even those young people, they do know in terms of what's right and what's wrong, because they can see from their parents and also the people that they're surrounded with that this is not how my brothers or my dad actually treats women. And doesn't mean that just because Henry Tate treats women this way that I should also treat women this way. So I think we need to stop this whole thing of trying to put kids in a bubble and actually allow them to live and also be able to experience life just as we were able to experience. Not necessarily saying that we shouldn't protect them. We can protect them, but at the same time, we need to be a bit more relaxed in terms of that manner.
Fundamentally dehumanizes people and then leads to him sex trafficking women and bragging about it on camera, as we will establish later on in the video. I mean, listen.
I was all about trying to get paid. Like I used sex as a tool to make women love me so they'd obey me and live in my house and make me money. That's what I wanted. So I was a pimp in that sense.
Being kickboxer, yeah. Playboy, pimp.
I'm happy with those labels so far. Well, but the majority of my money wasn't made in fighting. My money was actually made in the pimp game. We need to understand some basic concepts to the pimp game. Basic concepts for the realities between men and women. Women need a man to do OnlyFans. It's the same reason a woman need a man to do anything. Because they're incompetent and they're very, very lazy. It's stupid. When you're pimping bitches like me, it's a full-time job. So yeah, on corporateinc.com I have my PhD program, and that is PhD is a pimp and hose degree that I'm
This is one of the worst statements that you can ever come to the internet and actually say that this is your source of money. I believe that Andrew Tate, irrespective of whoever he is associated with, whether it's Trump or Elon Musk, if this was someone who actually used to live in the USA, this is someone would have been arrested a long time ago. Because this is a guy who just shows that he has been committing crime against humanity and crime against kids, basically, especially the ones who are females, because he has so many videos where he actually comes and says that he would have a lady who is older who has been working for him, so he will actually take them to influence the other ones who are younger so that they can actually do the bidding and get into the webcam game, whatever. Like, this guy is dumb, man. It's not like we don't have pimps out there, or we didn't have pimps out there many years ago, even now they exist, but they're not as dumb as this guy, where you know that the line of work that you do is not pure and you're not making money in the right way. And obviously, the laws are going to be following you and they're going to be chasing you and making sure that they try to arrest you. The worst thing you can ever do is to come into the internet and actually brag in terms of what you do so that you can actually give them whatever ammunition that they can use against you. This guy is not as smart as he says he is, him and the brother. I don't want to lie. It's fine. They were able to make money in those many, many legal ways. But at the same time, they are not the smartest people that I've seen.
Pimp and hose degree.
Look at this was Andrew Tate's corny course that he sold, the PhD program, where he admits that he took women's passports. We'll get to that later in the video, but let's continue on with this reporting surrounding them. When the Tate brothers arrived by private plane in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, they immediately found themselves in the crosshairs of law enforcement once more. This was a few months back. This time, they had a powerful ally come to their aid. Behind the scenes, the White House intervened on their behalf. Interviews and records reviewed by ProPublica show a White House official told senior Department of Homeland Security officials to return the devices to the brothers. Paul Ingrassia, who was a self-described Nazi who went on a Nazi streak, then helped the Tate brothers. There's more reporting here. Tate, who has more than 10 million followers on X, has repeatedly praised Trump and urged his American followers to vote for him ahead of the 2024 election, saying all Trump does is win, saying that all who oppose him should be expelled from the country. So he's a fascist as well. He's a misogynist, awful human being. Tate has compared himself to Trump. Pretty true. In one post, noting both he and Trump have been accused of sex crimes and were vilified by old recordings making jokes. He wasn't joking. He was selling a course. Tate, a self-avowed misogynist, has used sexist language to prop up Trump in one post stating his election victory kept, quote, evil warmongering she-witches out of office. Members of Trump...
Yeah, it's because he thought that Trump is going to go ahead and actually protect him the same way that Trump actually didn't want the Epstein files to get released. So he thought that maybe if he actually says that he's a follower of Trump, it means that he's going to be able to walk freely and continue to do all these things that he wants to do. Like, which is very wrong, man, which is very wrong. We know that Trump is the president, but at the same time, wrong will always be wrong, and things which are illegal will always be illegal. One way or another, people are going to stand up for you and actually go against you so that they make sure that you belong behind bars. Like, if I'm honest, this guy, he belongs in prison, man. In him and the brother, like, I've seen that at first we used to think that these are just allegations, everybody's against him, this whole Matrix, whatever, that he went spewing all this nonsense into people, saying that the Matrix, people are against him. Hey, man, the governments have been against this guy because this guy is a criminal. He keeps on time and time again busy confessing to the criminal activities that he does.
Inner circle have also voiced support for Tate, including Trump's son, Donald Trump Jr., Barron Trump, Elon Musk. Vice President J.D. Vance slammed the Romanian government the same week for a different problem, but listen to Trump's close allies. This is Andrew Tate.
And I'm very close to the Trump family. I know them well, and I spoke to Barron after the incident, and I look forward to, once I am free, meeting Donald Trump in person and reminding him that he's a bulletproof badass.
This is the attorney for President Trump, somebody who has been a fighter for the America First Party. Her name is Alina Habba. and she joins us live right now.
Hi.
Hello, Alina.
Hi. Nice to meet you. I'm a big fan.
Wow, a big fan. She said this after he had admitted on camera the way that he pimped women out illegally. I'll play for you the clip in one moment, but here are Andrew Tate's clownish lawyers walking up with Justin Waller, an idiotic red pill bro. All of these guys spread information about how to get girls, how to trick girls, how to lure them, all of this weird shit, but none of them can actually maintain a legitimate relationship. Look at them walking up. They think this is a movie. Why is a fake Andrew Tate defending Andrew Tate? That's not even him. That's just some random guy that kind of looks like him. There's Justin Waller, another red pill bro on the left, and this is a clown lawyer. Listen.
Good afternoon, everyone. So today went as expected. There was never going to be any fireworks today. Today wasn't about controversy. Today was about just enforcing Mr. Tate's, Andrew and Tristan Tate's rights and objecting to the extradition process. We are, of course, objecting to extradition because Andrew and Tristan are innocent. They've never done nothing wrong. They shouldn't be extradited for crimes they did not commit.
Okay, pause. They have literally admitted to these crimes. I want to show you this video right here, and it's going to be a little bit confusing in its editing, but Milk Bar TV put this together. It is Candace Owen.
Okay, I'm gonna go right here and actually end this video right here. If we're talking about Andrew Tate and being taken to the UK, if they are so innocent, and if I knew that I'm someone who's actually innocent and being accused of something, I would actually go and actually fight and have my day in court so that I can actually prove my innocence, which clearly these guys are not going to do because they're not innocent and they know the crimes that they've actually committed over and over again. Like if you talk about the manosphere or the red pill content, whatever way that you can name it, these guys have actually done a lot of damage in terms of that type of content. I remember many years ago, from starting around 2016 when I was still in university, there was content which was in the manosphere, but it was mostly focused in men's improvement. Like they would teach you in terms of how to dress, how to wear a tie, basically main things in terms of when you go to the gym, this is how you're supposed to use the equipment. They would also focus on the mental health of men in terms of how men should actually deal with things, because those type of content was actually very good. Because I remember the time that I went through a very horrible breakup at the time, and that content was the one that actually helped me to actually overcome everything, because it was actually good content and there was actually genuine people who actually had platforms that were actually meant to help men. Then these guys were Andrew Tate, for Fresh and Fit, they actually came and actually took advantage of that whole spectrum that was actually made to actually help men, and they actually started to actually change the message and actually started to attack women, calling people all bunch of names, inventing words such as 3 or 4 and other words that I'm not even gonna say, and actually destroyed that whole community. Now, if now you actually say that you are part of the manosphere or part of the red pill content, people are just gonna look at you in a very bad way, whereas initially that type of content was meant for something better in terms of men. Yeah, I think that's all that I have in store for you in terms of this guy. I say that this guy, they should arrest him. They should take him back to the UK so that he can actually have his day in court and possibly have his days in prison, because what he has done is it's actually horrible, and I wouldn't want anyone to have done that to anyone that I know or anyone who's my relative, because it's just bad. And I hope that every lady who has come across this guy has actually recovered and actually went to therapy and get all the help that they need. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. The reason I took so long to actually upload is because, yeah, my computer is dead, so I'm trying to gather funds to fix it. So I currently don't have anything that I can edit with, but I've made something, yeah, to be able to make a video. So yeah, as always, thank you. I'll see you same time, same place.